Ah, Jésù.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to DDI Bootcamp program. I want to assume you can all hear me, right? So if you are hearing me, just raise your hand. Just click on the raise hand button to just confirm if you are hearing me. Okay, thank you for that. My name is Olamide. I will be the coordinator of this program, and I will want us to start right away because we only have just 2 hours for the meeting. So, um, this is a meeting organized by DDI, and we are hoping to skill up as much as possible young people and even adults in tech program and in skills and everything related. I'm sorry, I'm trying to admit some people. So of course we've sent the book here to you guys. I want to assume we've seen it. We'll be having tax analysis, having audit analysis, having treasury view, and the most anticipated data analysis. So it is gonna be it's another 2 months full of learning for us, and the program will be coming up every Saturday till April, every Saturday by 11 a.m. So get ready to 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 learn. Please, I want to assume we are all using laptop because there are some things that we might not accurately learn from phone, and we will tell you the stuff to install everything for you to get. For example, the data analysis program will tell you the software for you to install so that you can get your skills starting as soon as possible. So, first and foremost, this is a new month, right? Can we just greet ourselves happy new month in the chat button? You don't have to unmute your mic. Just greet ourselves happy new month. Let's get to at least um refresh ourselves a bit. So let's start first. There is a chat button beside um the left corner of your screen. You can just type there in case um the facilitator is typing, maybe is saying something. You can um just go there and type happy new month. Okay, so you can just go there to type, so the facilitator will just read your comment. Please, you can only unmute your mic when the facilitator asks you to unmute your mic so that won't cause distraction. But you can always send a message in that chat room. The facilitator will read it and give you a response. You can also raise your hand is by your left top corner down. Just click on raise the hand button. Let me do that as an example for us. So if you check your screen now, you'll notice that I am raising my hand. So that shows that I am I want to talk, or I want to ask a question, or I want to give something. So um that's that about that. So without me wasting much time, let's go to the first activity of the day. Now we have facilitators already in all those programs. We have them. Then we also have some guest speaker people that have made grave in the financial industry, data analyst industry. We also have um we also have someone that will come and charge us up in education line. We have someone that didn't go through masters. He just after BSc he had this opportunity or this scholarship to do his PhD straight. So he wants to hear from him. He wants to learn, you know. So we have a lot of guest speaker like that. So but we'll be starting this particular program with a guest speaker, and I will introduce him to us shortly. Just give me some few seconds, please. So our first guest speaker for today is Chief Otunba Ayodele. He's the CFO. Is oh, okay, on my network. So our first speaker, like I said, is Mr. Otunba Ayodele. Sorry, he's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria and an adapt fintech and finance professional with over 12 years professional experience in the financial service sector and developing financial and fintech strategy that support organization revenue growth and increase market shares. Over the years, he has worked as chief strategic and group group chief finance officer at Dot Bank, acting managing director at CS Advanced Finance Company Limited. So, without wasting much time, let me just introduce or bring on Chief Olontoba Ayodele to us. So, Chief Olontoba, can you just take the floor and let's hear from you, sirs? So, we'll be having you from 11 to 12, including um, the Q&A section so that we can have the next speaker. So, Chief Olontoba, please go ahead. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Let me first start from that. We are so grateful. We are so honored to have you here. Thank you, sir. So, go ahead, sir. You can unmute your mic and talk, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hi, good morning, everybody. So nice to be here this morning, and I'm actually very excited to be in the midst of the young and aspiring people who are very passionate about taking on a path, a path and interest in the challenging world of finance. It's my pleasure to be here this morning. My name is Otunba Ayodele. Thank you for the person who has been talking since morning. And then I think on the call, okay, I think we're about 25 people here on the call. So in the next few minutes, we are
Hello?
going to be looking at
Hello?
different
Kí ló
things,
sọ?
in finance, and then how we
Má
can
bínú
break
Ọlámídé
into
sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́
finance,
ló ti ń
and
accept gbogbo yín
also
báyìí.
what kind of a certification will be of help for anybody that's going to make a wave in the complex world of finance. So before I proceed, let me see if I can just share my screen for what I have here. Okay, so I think your setup does not allow me to share my screen. It does not also allow me to do video, to also turn on my video, but I think that is a setup. So for people to flow with me, do I need to send a do I need to send a presentation to someone to present for me? Hello, can you hear me? The professor.
Um, sir, I guess Mr. Olamide will address that right now. Mr. Ojo Olamide, can you grant Otunba the access to share his screen and also share his cam, please, Mr. Ojo Olamide?
All right, please. Can you confirm you can see my screen right now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, so I'm trying to go to move between my slides. So does it change for your end?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good, great, get it. Well, I mean, if it is possible, I would have loved to actually, put on my video, because I mean, we don't know where anyone can see, so that you know that it's not a ghost that is talking, and of course, it's not also AI that is also talking, but it's fine. So happy New Month, everybody. So let's
You,
Happy
just
New
you
Year,
can
get.
sir.
try that, sir. I think I've adjusted the setting. You can try that, sir. I don't know if it's working over there, but I've turned it on. Can can
Are
you
you
hear me,
back
sir?
now? Can you see me now?
No, not yet. Okay, yeah, I can see you now. You can see you now. Thank you,
All
sir.
right. Okay, great. All right. So once again, good morning to everybody. Now, the topic before me this morning is breaking into finance and also the importance of certification, in finance. That is the topic, breaking into finance. Now, number one, when we are talking about finance, everything that we do, whether as an individual or as a corporate or as a public sector, revolves around finance. So, meaning that most of your decision, actually revolves around finance. For instance, a lot of us on this call today, we connect from different places. We are connecting with our data. We are connecting, with our devices. So most of all these things also have financial implication. For instance, we're going to spend like an hour on this call, so you know how many, the volume of data that you'll have actually spent, you know. So it has a financial, implication. Now, let me say that finance is a profession that actually allows anybody to join, regardless of your background. We have people, whether you have your degree in engineering, in medicine, in science or any or art, you can always join finance. So that's the beautiful thing about finance. So that's one. Now, when we are talking about the path to finance profession, so it's a function of so many things. Number one, your background. What is your background? Number two, your skills. What are the skills that you have? Number three, your interest. You need to be very passionate about that finance. And we are going to speak to this one, as we move forward. The first one is your background. So a lot of people, they are mathematically inclined, they are quantitatively inclined. So that alone makes your journey to be about 30%, up there, when you are quantitatively inclined. So because for finance, if you depending on the kind of field of finance you go into, so a lot of uh, mathematical or quantitative skills, will be required, right? So depending on the field, like I said, that you are into. So your background is very, very key. Then your skill sets. Talking about the skills right now, you'll be so at the entry level of finance. We have a lot of technical skills that will be required. However, if you really, by the time you now get to the executive stage of finance, so you don't even need, you need less of technical skills. At that point, you need more of soft skills. Soft skills. That's what you need at the executive level. Um, in finance. Then your interest. Interest plays a very key role. Do you know why interest plays a very key role? It plays a key role because depending on the field you find yourself in finance, or depending on the on the area, it can be very, very challenging, whereby you work almost around the clock, particularly when you find yourself in the investment banking field of finance. You work almost around the clock. You can imagine that tomorrow, or on Monday, you are going to pitch to a CEO of a multi-billion dollar company, where you're going to be presenting, maybe you want to go and pitch, talk to them about most of the challenges and how your company, that where you work, can actually be of help to the challenges. So it therefore means that a lot of things will be involved, all through the weekend, for you to be able to meet up with that presentation. So, and if you do not have a very strong interest along the line, you may consider even quitting, right? So, however, but as challenging as it is, I can also confirm to you that finance is very, very rewarding. Um, we have a lot of reward systems, in finance, that make it very attractive for the people who are there to continue to waste their appetites, in that field. Now, if we are coming to finance, there are different ways there are different areas you may consider to at least specialize in. One is investment banking, right? Investment banking. But unfortunately, Nigeria, financial market is not very developed, unlike South Africa. In South Africa, the the financial services industry, is well developed, where you can always find a place, for yourself, where you can always find as many companies that are doing what may be your interest. But we believe that maybe we hope that we can actually get there. Recently, I was reading the difference between um, the capital market in Nigeria and also the capital market you know um, in South Africa. All the capital market put together is not more than 50 billion. It's not more than 50 billion USD. You know, uh, However, in South Africa, it's multiple of that. It's multiple of that. As a matter of fact, one listed company in South Africa is almost more than the total market cap, of Nigeria. That is too terrible of us. But we believe that we can get there at some point. So again, the first one may be investment banking. So the people in investment banking, what are they really doing? So when we are talking about merger and acquisition, you want to raise capital, and there are so many ways you can actually raise capital. So one of it is, IPO, that is initial public offering, whether by way of tender or whatever it is. So these are the people that actually specialize in that. So when it comes to financial advisory, capital raise and all that, so these are the people. Then we're talking about asset management. So in asset management today, we have different areas. I mean, these are the people that help, both individuals and also high net worth individuals to be able to manage their portfolio, right? Then by the time it comes to certification, so certification will depend on your area of interest. If you want to go into investment banking, so what kind of skill set that you need? Asset management, what kind of skill set, what kind of certification you need? So we're going to get there. Now, corporate finance, it's also it's also a part of finance. A lot of people that actually work in bank, we have a corporate, departments, corporate finance, and that is the one that actually that has to do with looking for fund, for different companies and all that. They are the people in charge of financial, planning, and also and assessments. There are people in charge of treasury. There are people in charge of financial strategy, and all that. Then we have the PE, that's private equity and venture capital. So these are the people that actually have interest in, looking for money for the startup companies, and all that. That's why I say that a lot of all these things, right? Our market is just trying to open up. Our market in Nigeria is just trying to open up, to most of all these fields, unlike a developed market like in the US, like in the UK, Canada, and all that. So where they actually have specialized, firms in all these areas. And I tell you that most of all these areas they can be very, very rewarding, very, very rewarding. Private equity is one thing that I love the most actually. Then the wealth management. So wealth management, a lot of people actually take that up to be the same thing as asset management, but it could be a bit different. Now, in taking your financial decision, what is very key is risk management. you know. So risk management is also very key in everything you do. And that is because for most of all these entities, whether you are in the investment market space or you are in asset management, space, or you are in the PE space, these are regulated, sectors, of finance. Today in Nigeria, we have we are answerable to SEC, that is Security and Exchange Commission. So because of that, and you are dealing with managing people's wealth, so a lot of compliance is actually required. Compliance. So meaning that be it
Sorry,
investment,
sir.
okay, go ahead.
Sir,
Go
um,
ahead.
I want to I want to ask if you are changing your slide because your slide is just on the first page seats. So I just want to confirm if you are changing
So
it or not.
what are you seeing there on that page? What are you seeing there?
It's just the first page, the breaking into finance, importance of
Okay.
certification.
Wow, really?
I just want to confirm is that
No, 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 no. This is where I am. This is where I am.
it has changed now, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, that's why
Okay, you can go ahead,
that's
sir.
why I had the
I
other
just
time. Okay, that's all right. So that's why I had the other
thank
time
you.
that I mean, that if you could see my screen, you can move it. Okay, so then another one is quantitative finance. This is also very rewarding. It has to do with algorithm for trading. Financial engineering. Today, right now, we have a lot of people, in trading. We'll get there. A lot of people in trading. Um, so I want to confirm that I can see my screen moving.
Yes, 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 sir.
Okay, yeah. So,
Skills
as
build.
a lot of us on this call, I believe that a lot of us we qualify for an entry level, into finance. So whether we are fresh graduates, and all that. So be it a fresh graduate, so what are the things that you actually need to focus on if you actually want to break into the complex world of finance? So the very first one is what we call the technical skill, technical skills. So, what are those things? Number one, your Excel skill must be top notch because for most of the things you do in finance, Excel actually plays a very key role. And let me also say that for most of the software that you see, I mean, a lot of them they actually embedded even on Excel, as a base. So, Excel, you need to actually take it to be very, very critical. Financial modeling, you know, is also very key. Accounting skill, very key. The valuation skill, you know. So all these skills they are actually very, very key. So that's why I said the other time that your your pathway to finance depends on your background. Some people they have BSc in accounting, either BSc or HND in accounting. So the fact that you have that knowledge of accounting, I think um, gives you an edge in terms of trying to cope with the rigor of of all of these things that I've mentioned here, all these skills, Excel, data modeling, accounting and valuation and all that. However, if your skill, I mean, if your background is not in accounting, regardless of where you are, I mean, these are skills that are I mean, they are very easy to pick, and that's why you're attending different, trainings, seminars, so that you can just upscale yourself in most of all these areas, you know. So and for at times it depends on the kind of modeling you are doing. So it could be that you want to model a financial statement. So in which case maybe you are doing your cash flow, you are doing your statement of profit or loss, you are doing your state of financial position and all that. So these are the areas where you need maybe core accounting, people to be able to reflect, the reality of um, of all those income statements, so that when you're presenting, anybody you're presenting to will know that, okay, the people that did this model, they know what they are saying, so that eventually your model will not face a lot of criticism, along the line. So mean that why build your model, for instance, I mean, there are a lot of skill set that may actually come into it. So mean that you need to know to understand the dynamics of of the company you're building, of the company you're building for, and then the individual consideration that you need to factor into your own, into your own model. Then certification. I mentioned the other time that certification also depends on where you're coming from. So a lot of people, number one, generally, for most of the people in finance, they usually have MBA. In fact, some of them go to business school. So for you to actually be well grounded, in finance, going to business school will be of tremendous advantage to you. It's going to give you an edge. It's going to put you, out there, at the forefront of employers, be it locally or internationally. So business school to tomorrow continues to remain very relevant, and we have a lot of reputable business schools, all over the world. So you can just Google and check which one will meet up with your budget and all that, because it can be very, very capital intensive. Going to business school right now, particularly looking at what naira is due to dollar. Then locally, being ICANN certified, individual can also play a very key role for you to get an edge, into most of all these sectors. The comparable certification, to ICANN will also be ACCA. Then all over the world today, the body that is known, a professional body that is more of finance and investment, is this certification called CFA. So having CFA can actually be a game changer, in finance, because I mean it's one globally respected certification that will actually put you in the forefront of finance. So it's something that is worth considering. So in a nutshell, if you really want to pursue interest, in finance, so don't joke with MBA. Don't also joke with CFA. I mean, particularly if you want to play in the international space. So don't joke with those two. MBA, going to business school, and also have a CFA. They will actually give you a real edge. Then there's something called soft skills. Soft skills play a very key role, and most of all these skills, right? Their communication, networking, and how analytical you are in your thinking, because every day you are faced with different, challenges. For instance, somebody wants to raise money. So depending, you don't there's no one cap fit all, for all of these things. For instance, maybe my company wants to raise money. If you look at my own cash flow, the dynamics of our business, you may decide whether the money I want to raise will only be equity, or my business also has capacity to also to raise debt, you know. And what kind of debt, what kind of equity, you need to be able to understand the dynamics of the company, the cash flow pattern, the profit margin, to be able to appropriately advise them on what kind of path, to actually go through. So your analytical thinking, is also very, very key, you know. And so as a fresh graduate, so I think your communication skill and your networking skill, is very, very important. By saying communication skill does not mean that you need to go and master all the grammar in the dictionary. No, but how you are able to engage your stakeholders. Because at your own level, there'll be a lot of, if you are working in a company, so there's going to be a lot of, you will likely be building a lot of models. And in most cases, so this model, you'll be called upon to come and explain the model. You can imagine yourself as a young graduate, and you are standing before the CEO of MTN. You are standing before the CEO of Total, and you are trying to tell them about the model that you have built for them. you know so you are standing, between people that have multiple qualifications, more, years of experience. And you fresh graduate, you are starting to, to talk them through what you are presenting, what and what you've done for them. So your communication skill needs to be on point. So needs to be on point means that you need to be able to understand what area of your presentation needs, attention. What area of your presentation, is worthy of being noticed. And as you are talking, how do you stop at some point to call their attention to one area so that they don't just overlook that area? It's very key. Then another one is networking. You know, as a fresh, graduate, so you need to have mentor, and all that. Those who have done well in any area that you want to focus on, and then try to see how you can network with them, and all that. It's very key. Sorry, are you people following me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Now, what are the ways through which you can gain experience? Let me tell you, in life, our path, differ. Some people they get job easily. Some people they try over and over. You may be fortunate to be among those people that even YC serving, as an NYC, they already have like 3 or 4 offers. That's your luck. However, if you have tried and tried and tried and that's not forthcoming, consider, doing internship. Even if it is unpaid, consider doing it. So I believe that a lot of us on this call, I mean, you can actually speak to this. We have a lot of people that have actually, they are not even as good as you, but they are not even as intelligent as you are. But they already have like 2 or 3 of us, even right from immediately after NYC, And some people that even make a first class, this is struggle. So irrespective of all of these things, so you can consider doing internship, uh, in that area. Then that you can look for a finance related, internship. Today in Nigeria, there are some companies that are known to be, core finance companies. Good example is Cardinal Stock Partners. A good example is Chapel Hill, Deham. A good example will be Vetiva. A good example will be ACA, that's the Africa Capital Alliance. You can Google all of those things. I mean, those are if you really want to break it to finance, so consider, you know, um, working with those companies, right? Vetiva, ARN, you know, Afrinvest. So you can consider those companies. Can anybody mention other names? Can you add to my list? I've mentioned some names, the names of companies that have been known to be in finance. So can you also add to those to names I've mentioned? You want to help me? You can meet yourself and yeah, and mention names so that I know I'm not the only one.
I guess we have commercial partner at Lekki. We have yes, VFD Group also.
Great. So I mean, you can consider all those companies. Verod. These are different companies that today, when we talk about finance, I mean, uh, they are good players. Meristem, Codros Capital, right? These are good brands. These are good brands. And then apart from that, we can also consider the big four audit firms. In audit firms, they also have the department for for finance, firms like KPMG, firms like Deloitte, PwC, EY. Can consider them also. They also have different units that are also into core, finance. Okay, great. So we can proceed, right? Now, entry level job, you can do internship with them. You can do entry level job. So entry level job in this case right now, a lot of them will take you as a finance analyst. You know, um, you need to constantly check for when they will have the vacancies, and see if you meet up with the requirements. So a lot of them they do graduate management training program, and all that. Then you can also do set projects. So by saying set project right now, I believe that a lot of you have at one point or the, I mean, maybe you already have a portfolio that you have built, whether you are working as a data analyst or you are working as an investment banking analyst and all that. So it's possible that you have done some model and all that. So you can also put it out there to showcase your skill. You can let it be part of your portfolio. So anybody can pick up this thing. And so I think I'm interested in what is that done. I don't mind, giving me a call. So that is also very key. So today, in terms of trying to get visibility out there, let people know you. So LinkedIn has done a very good job in connecting, professionals. So going to LinkedIn, you're going to see people that are making wave in your own chosen area. So through that, you can always connect, with them. Then a lot of you also belong to different alumni associations in your different schools, right? So you can also stay, in touch. However, a lot of our schools in Nigeria, they are not. A lot of our universities, they are not very serious. They are not very very serious in the sense that as a university or as a department, for instance, let's assume a department of economics. If you mention, KPNG, PwC, and all that. So in an ideal setting, your faculty should actually have a partnership with most of all these companies, such that maybe the best 20 graduate students, they can have an agreement with them to say, okay, if you want to recruit, okay, you can always recruit from our own side, but abroad, this is what works out. These are the things that actually work abroad, and that's why a lot of people, if you go and do your MBA abroad at the master's level, you will see companies. Why when you are doing convocation, you see companies coming automatically to pick you. You know, so the reason why people are traveling out to go and do for the MBA is not because most of all these foreign schools are better, because come to think of it, The same textbooks is what they will use, right? The same thing, the same topics is what they will taught. However, because of all this possibility of network, that's why people are actually traveling to go and do the, to go and do the MBA, in foreign universities. So that as you're doing your convocation right now, it's possible that you're going to have a trade fair where you're going to have so many companies, Goldman Sachs, all of them coming on ground to come and see, okay, who are the best graduate students. Automatically from there, you are getting a job. But I pray that in Nigeria at some point, we'll get all of this is right so that people will do what they need to do. Then, apart from that, you can also network, yeah, in your different professional body. If you are considering, CFA, like I said the other time, is a good venture, and then CFA they have a lot of they have a lot of events that they organize from time to time, in the society. So through that way, you can easily get connected with people who are already up there and who can actually take you to work with them, directly, or that can also recommend you to work, in different companies and all that. So it's a good way to start. Hello, can you people hear me? Are you following?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great, great,
Yes, sir.
great. Now, as a finance person or as an aspiring finance person, you need to be very, very correct. To be very, very correct. In trying to be current, you need to know what are the topical issues in the economy and how you can relate all those things to the real world. Today in Nigeria now, most of the topical issue right now in Nigeria is what we call, at some point before now, we were talking about finance bill. So right now, we have left finance bill. We're not talking about, tax reform bill, which Taiwo Oyedele is currently, handling. So Taiwo Oyedele is the chairman, presidential tax committee, on the tax reform. So most of all these things, is this is reform is generating a lot of controversies. So as a tax person, you are going to know, okay, sorry, as a finance person, you are going to know, okay, how does this all affect people's, disposable income? How does this is reform affect, investment in Nigeria? How does this one, affect our tax system, and all that. So analyzing all of these topical issues, is also very good for you. So that when you are engaging, when you're speaking anywhere, so people can always respect you, no matter how small you are in age and no matter how little you are in experience, they know that, okay, you are very conversant with, the topical issue. Then apart from that, as you are staying, as you are spending hours on your phone on YouTube, make sure you channel your time, to a productive, engagement. Look for finance YouTube. Try to know what's happening both locally and also internationally. You know, how that will affect you and how what you can learn from there. The different finance podcasts, and the different, finance industry blogs, so that you can stay highly informed. And today, the world is now very simple. Today, we're in different locations and we can connect, through this online platform. And so it is that we have different, training or e-learning platforms, Coursera, Udemy, a lot of them, where you can, and again, a lot of courses are even free, you know, a lot of courses are even free. So you can also do different courses that can give you leverage, right, world of finance. And the good thing about today's, world is that it's very interesting. Why it is good to work in, in a structured environment. If you also have skill, you can also even be here, be earning, you can have a skill and be doing something such that you're even earning income for yourself without necessarily, working in a structured, in a company. Um, Today we have people that have actually picked up interest in data analytics, picked up interest in business analysis, you know, picked up interest in different other fields. And that because a lot of all this they can actually learn, online. So this are the things. So as a form of recap, I said the other time that we have so many fields that you can consider. You can specialize on, in finance. And I said, okay, you need to consider your background, your skills, and also your interest. And I also mentioned that um, breaking into finance can be very, very challenging, but it can also be very, very rewarding. Why it can be challenging is that, for instance, if you're somebody building a model, your model comes with different assumptions. So for somebody who is going to review your model, who a lot of them will be coming from the aspect of criticizing your model, they'll be asking, okay, have you considered this assumption? Have you considered this factor? Have you considered this factor? Okay, have you taken into consideration all of these factors in your model? You know, if they observe that you have not taken something into your consideration, all the efforts of sleepless nights, they can rubbish it. So that's why you need to be very detailed. Why work? Why be in finance? So I mentioned the path to finance, then and I also mentioned the different um the different fields specialized. So I think in the interest of time, I would like to leave room for question and answer, and contribution from anyone. So thank you. The floor is open right now. We can all comment, you can ask questions and all that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much for this session, sir. Well, I just want to ask two questions on this whole so far with everything you've said. Number one, I wanted to ask about this CFA exam. If one wanted to go about it, like, how do you recommend? Because for someone who has little knowledge about it, I am interested in doing this, but how do I go about it is one. Then also for the YouTube finance, I don't know if you can recommend maybe a particular maybe channel that that you feel is that you feel we can actually get good content from that can help um, develop us professionally.
All right. So I think you're okay. Are you done, Samuel?
Yes, I'm done. I'm done, sir.
All right, great. So I think your network at some point was somehow erratic. However, I think I got two key questions. The first one is CFA. How can you go into CFA? So I think the very first thing, um, number one, we CFA registering for CFA is actually online. Before now, there was no CFA in Nigeria. You cannot do CFA in Nigeria. You have to travel out, be it to Ghana, or I mean that's the closest place. But right now, thankfully, we don't have CFA, in Nigeria. So all you need to do, right, is to actually go through the site and check, when is the next diet and when is the opening and closing date, for registration before I can even register. That's one. And two, when you register, definitely they're going to give you the different books, you need to start reading. And apart from that, we now have tutorial centers that actually, take people, in this course, depending on the level that you want to write. So right now, you will be writing it on level one. So that's what it means. And like I said the other time, right? Um, it doesn't matter your background. So you can have background in any area, but if you read courses like accounting, like economics and all that, so this you can easily a lot of the things you be doing there at level one will not be alien to you. I mean, they'll be something that you are already familiar with. If you have background in finance, whether you read banking and finance in school, or what course did you read in school?
Yeah, I read economics, sir. I read
Okay,
economics.
very good. So because I mean, economics is one of the voluminous, it's one of the voluminous courses, at level one, right? So since you read economics in school, I mean, that would be a kind of a walkover for you because a lot of the topics they cover there, I mean, that's something that you've done, in the last 4 years while in school. So that's what it is. So you just need to know, okay, which one is my which one is my easy points and which one is the one I need to focus more attention on, and all that. And so that is it. So just go online, register. When you register, they're going to give you, all the materials you need to start, studying. And again, you also check for good tutorial center that you can also attend, to also guide you. So that is it. And you also try to ensure that you belong to the CFA group, you know. So I mean, it's as simple as that, you know. That is it. Then the second one, sorry, I'm trying to get the second question again.
No, sir. I'm asking that. Can you recommend a
Okay,
YouTube
okay,
channel that?
YouTube, okay.
Uh,
Okay, yeah. So now, like I said, number one, I've mentioned the different fields, whether it's investment banking or asset management or private equity. So you need to know which one you want to focus on. So if you just go online right now, uh I just search YouTube, YouTube, YouTube on investment banking, or tutorial on private equity. So you see a lot of different options. Or events in investment bank, current event in investment banking, current events in private equity. So you see a lot of things, out there, and you can always follow through and all that. So I mean, it's as easy as doing that these days. I can see one hand up. I can see uh Boluwatife.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Yeah,
Can you hear me, sir?
clearly I can hear you. Go ahead.
All right, my name is Bootcamp, and thank you very much for the session. It's very insightful. I want to ask a question. I'm in insurance space. I'm in insurance space, and though done some few things in finance and all, and of course, insurance is under finance. They would like to know. I'm in reinsurance, to be specific. And I've been trying to figure out how all this you've spoken about can work in that space. I don't know if you've encountered the collaboration between the reinsurance space or the insurance space as a whole and the world of deep finance. So I don't know if
Okay, so number one, okay, let me say this on. So if you look at if you are really interested in finance, so what aspect of finance will you be interested in? I've mentioned the other time investment banking. I've mentioned the other time asset management. I've mentioned the other time, private equity. So is there any area that you would like you will be interested in the first place?
okay. So first off, for the now, I'm looking at investment banking for the now.
Okay, good.
That's a
So I
particular
mean,
sector.
okay, great. So I mean, if you're looking at investment banking, it's very simple. All you need to do, right? Number one, just go and master your Excel skill. You know, master very well. Your financial modeling, valuation. By the time you master those three skills in particular, your Excel, your financial modeling, and the valuation, you can even develop a portfolio, for yourself. When you develop a portfolio for yourself, right, you can reach out to most of the companies that I mentioned the other time that are core finance companies. I mentioned Cardinal Stone Partners, I mentioned Chapel Hill, somebody mentioned VFD, all of these companies, right? So you can start, you can start taking them out, you can start taking them out and all that. So it can, as somebody who is coming with maybe with some form of experience, right? And if the other time,
So,
go ahead.
so the question is, in the world right now, I observe that most people are always concerned about the certification, or are always concerned about the certification. So, and I want to ask a question is that, so will you advise that certification is more important, or we understanding or having relevant experience? So what would be your advice on both sides? should we go after maybe certifications, maybe going after the CFA, or we should start concentrating more now on the experience, on the experience?
Okay, CFA, he has BSc, he has MBA. These are different certifications. So what certification will do for you, first of all, is that it's gonna give you, an an invite. But it does not guarantee at the entry level, it does not guarantee you getting a job. For instance, what do I mean? I can go through somebody's CV, he has all the certification in this world. Okay, because of that one, he gets called. So the person gets invite. Now, like somebody mentioned the other side, okay, he wants to actually, it's interested in investment banking. So when you now come, they will give you a model to build. Okay, can you build this model? Okay, they give you a case study, build a model for this case study. Your time is just like 3 hours, or your time is 2 hours. So your skill is what is more important. So if you must have the skill for you to be able to say, okay, this is how I'm going to figure out, this model within this time that I'm given. So that's why I told the young man, in charge of that time, um, fine, you can actually have the skill, in that in financial modeling, in Excel, in valuation and all that. So if anybody says, okay, now you are saying you're passionate about this one, can you just build this model? In fact, you'll be very happy because you already have the skill set, So the the certification is only affirming that, okay, now I've said, okay, I've taken a course in financial modeling, I've taken a course in company valuation. So, and this is just the certificate to actually back it up. But at your level, what is very, very key is that you need to actually have that skill set. Let your Excel knowledge be on point. Let your financial modeling be on point. Let your valuation skill be on point. Then certification will just be, to back it up. Now, um, if you are pursuing your career in CFA, CFA will give you access to global, finance space, you know, and why doing that one? That's why it's always better when you are working, you are also doing this exam together. So being that you are working to build the experience and you are also doing the exam to get the qualification. So the two of them they go pari passu.
Thank you, sir.
So any other question from anyone?
Omo that solar, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
I can't tell you. Yeah,
Morning,
go
sir.
ahead. All right, good morning.
Hello. What do you refer as modeling? As model?
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you. So,
Okay.
um, so what's your discipline? What's your background, Darola? What do you study? Hello, can you hear me? What do you study? Okay. Is there anybody on this call that is hearing financial modeling for the first time?
Yes, sir.
You are hearing financial modeling for the first time, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So that's okay if I hear financial modeling for the first time. So as a lot of people taking analyst role, particularly in investment banking, particularly in private equity, which is very, very key. Now, for instance, you are doing a business plan for a company. So there's going to be an aspect of it where you're going to be modeling the company's financial statements. You are modeling what will be the cash flow for the company in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. So modeling can be anything, but how you are able, what's a model? A model is an abstraction from reality. That's the model, an abstraction from reality. So it's meant to actually imitate the real world. And say, okay, oh, you are setting up a company, and this company this is 5 years financial summary for this company. So you can model what the company will look like in the next 5 years. What's going to be the payback period for this company for the investment? What's going to be the return on investment? What's going to be the the profit or loss of the company in the next 5 years? What's going to be the cash flow of this business in the next 5 years? So you need to be able to actually model it. What is the structure of the of the expenses? What is the structure of the revenue of this company? So those are the things that we do with time modeling, and all of this is actually right on Excel. So by the time you have the Excel skill, so based on that Excel skill, you cannot model anything, any financial statement you want to you want to model. So when you're talking to any investor, you say okay, investor will say okay, what is the projection? What's the projection for for this company in 5 years? So you have to actually model it. So based on that, you can actually
I think I don't know. So I want you to help us to share more light on it. Thank you
okay.
so much.
All right. So thanks so much. So when I mentioned this field, let me put it up again. Hold on. Okay. So when I mentioned the different field in finance, so other field, will also be will be trading, you know, securities trading. So mean that for you to be a stockbroker, that's also part of finance. So I've added that securities trading. So for you to trade security, mean that buy and sell of stock, you want to buy MTN stock, you want to buy Total, you want to buy Dangote, So the licensed people that will help you buy and sell this, they're traders, they're stock traders, or we call it stock brokers. So, and for you to be able to trade, for you to be eligible to trade, you are going to write an exam called CIS. Okay, so that's also part of and that's also part of finance, right? It's also a field in finance, securities trading. You may decide, okay, you want to be a trader. And let me tell you, there's also a lot of money in trading, you know. So there's also a lot of money in trading. So there's so many fields, different fields of finance. So if you want to pursue career in trading, therefore you need to be able to do CIS before you can trade, in Nigeria. And when you do that one, that's when you'll be licensed to trade with the Nigeria Stock Exchange.
I'll
Okay,
keep it
so
well
I
for
think
Otunba.
in this amount of time, that is the end of that. Um, Before now, then I just want to also let you know about Edu Fund Africa Initiative, and then one of the programs that we are coming up. So one of the organizers in this place is part of Edu Fund Africa, and we are coming up with an academy. We are coming up with an academy, Edu Fund Academy, Edu Fund Africa Academy, where we are going to be dwelling on a number of different courses, and that will even, give you access to all this finance and all that. So, but this is just a brief. One of you, if you need more information on that, so one of the guys here, that's Lekon, can give you more insights, that. As I am right now, I'm operating or I'm doing this meeting from the office of Edufund in Abuja office. That's where I am. So I want to say this will be the end of my presentation because of time allotted so that other speakers can also come in. So thank you so much for your time. It's my pleasure to be here and to also have a conversation with you the last 1 hour. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I almost didn't want it to end. Thank you so much, sir. I hope we can bring you back. It's really a great honor for you to be here with us. So, sir, I want to ask: is there a way we can connect you for some of us that might want to connect you? Is it possible you drop your LinkedIn account? Is there a way, at least, for us to reach out to you? If there's any one of us that really wants to do that, maybe social media or anything at all, sir, before we let you go.
Okay. So you can, of course, you can reach out to me, right? Um, you can always reach out to me, right? I think so that what's gonna be the easiest path will be, well, you can connect with me on WhatsApp, right? You can connect with me on WhatsApp. and I can drop that in the chat box, my WhatsApp. So you can reach me on WhatsApp through that, and any question you have, you know, if that permit me, I'll wait time to really do justice to that.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, so moving forward to the second that's the first facilitator of the program, the second speaker today. Um is our audit facilitator. So he's Mr. Osadia Emmanuel. Just don't waste much of our time. So let's just go straight to it. So Mr. Emmanuel Osadia, can you just mute your mic and go ahead, sir? So you have till 11, sorry, you have till 1 p.m. So just about 15 minutes so that we can call it a day. Thank you. Go
Okay,
ahead,
thank
sir.
you very much, Mr. Olamide. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Month. Hope you can hear me, please.
Good afternoon, happy new month, sir.
Good
Thank you very much.
afternoon, happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy.
Happy New Month.
Happy New Month, sir.
Thank you. So, Mr. Olamide, I can't access my video. As in my screen, I can't present. Can you please grant me the? Can Mr. Olamide hear me? I'm trying to share my screen. I can't share my screen. So, welcome to today's audit class. Before Mr. Olamide, gives me the permission, let me say one or two. So today, majorly most of us have been hearing, auditors. Who are the auditors, or who are auditors? What does the work of an auditor entail? So today we're just going to be an introduction class, an introductory class into auditing. Sorry, Mr. Lamde, I can't still share my screen. Okay, I can share it now. So sorry, if you can see my screen, let me know.
Okay, it's coming up. It's coming up.
Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Sure. Okay.
Okay. So you can see my screen.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Hope it is bold enough.
I think it's something. I think it's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So like I said, welcome to DDI Consult. This is the right place for professionalism. So before I go into key aspect of auditing and I go into what the work of an auditor entails, I'll first try to today, like I said, the introduction class. I would like to enlighten us on accounting, because you can't become an auditor without having basic accounting knowledge. One of the best, I call it the bedrock of auditing. The bedrock of auditing is accounting. So that is why I have so starting with the principles of financial accounting, basis of auditing. So the outline for today will be the importance of accounting in audit, basics of accounting, types of financial statements, and the principles of debt collection. So you can hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you
Yes,
very
We
we
much.
can hear
can.
you. I'm not sure if you have changed your screen. It's still the home page.
No, I've changed my screen.
Yes, we
He has
can.
changed
We
it. I
can
can
see.
see the outline.
Yes,
Thank you
we
very
can
much. You
see.
can see the outline. So before I go to the importance of accounting, like I said, it is very important in auditing for you to know accounting standard. That's why you see that before you can become an auditor, you're expected to have, should I say, ICANN, expected to have ACCA, or expected to have an accounting knowledge, a BSc accountant. But the misconception most people have is that they believe that they can become, you know, an auditor through only becoming an accountant. I repeat, They believe that they can only become an auditor if they studied accounting in school or they have ACCA or ACCA. But this is actually, it's a misconception because if you have, like what Tuba said, if you have the right knowledge and you have the right material, you can what become an auditor. I was discussing with my partner. I was discussing with him. I asked him, my lead partner where I work. I said, why is it that most audit firms? He was saying that do you believe that most audit firms before the adventure of 2020, he said most audit firms like to employ people like for internship out of the field of accounting. If you study sciences, you studied engineering, he said likes of KPMG, Ernest and Young, PwC, and the rest. He said they like employing people from other field. And I was inquisitive. I said, why did you say that? Why would they want to, take someone from the accounting field? And he said, they believe that if you studied accounting in school, the accounting you've done in school, it's actually little compared to what you'll be doing on the field. Do you get me now? The little audit you did when you're in accounts, maybe one course code, it's actually little to what you are going to be doing on the field. So they'll believe that they'll be the one to teach you and to train you more. But they believe that if you are from other fields, they'll be able to integrate you if they have a work from maybe a food industry. Because maybe you studied food science, you have knowledge of that industry. So if you are if you want to become an auditor, you want to become a tax analyst, it's not compulsory you actually study accounting. You can actually get this knowledge by doing ICANN, doing ACCA, and and going online, watching tutorials, attending to seminars. So I said accounting is the bedrock for auditing. Can someone please just unmute and just tell me, explain what accounting means before I go to the essentials of accounting? Can someone please just enlighten me on what accounting is?
Well, basically, I think accounting covers getting data that's like financial data. Now, what these reasons, what bettered this is because of will I call it the principal student relationship sort of where okay, I own the business, right? I can't manage it per se. So I give it to somebody, like I tell someone, okay, handle the financial part of it, keep record, get everything, be able to analyze data. That's the whole time. But now accounting really entails getting data, analyzing data, because right now accounting is like the backbone of every company because from a company's balance sheet or financial statements, you can actually get to know how well that firm is doing both financially and otherwise, which could either be a strong force against the entity's foreseeable future, or could be a leverage, it be an advantage for them. Thank you. That's like my own overview of accounting as a whole.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. Okay, you just said it that accounting involves keeping of records, classifying according to the textbook knowledge, basically keeping of data. And what auditor actually works on are the data that is being prepared by an accountant. So if you want to become an auditor, you must understand accounting standard. You must understand that okay, accounting is very important to what auditing. Accounting is very important to auditing. So not to waste our time, I want to tell you the reason or why accounting is like the bedrock or the major foundation of what auditing. One, foundation of financial data. Accounting provides the necessary financial data that will help the auditors examine if the documents are recorded, they are accurate. Because as an auditor, you are an independent body. You are here to verify that the information that is being or the record that are being prepared by the accountant gives a true and fair view. if it has been what presented fairly. So accounting, if the auditor does not have the knowledge or the bedrock knowledge of accounting, he won't be able to access this data. Just look at it now. Okay, someone that studied, should I say, studied social sciences, let me use sociology, he wants to become an auditor. No problem, that's fine. But he has no accounting knowledge. He did not do ICANN, neither did he do ACCA or any accounting, or attend any accounting seminars. And he wants to audit the book of Dangote PLC. The accountant has presented the book of Dangote PLC to him. How would the auditor be able to examine that what the books being prepared by the accountant shows a true and fair view? How would he be able to know that the document, the bank statement, the ledger account, the trial balance, the financial statement, how would he know that this document has been recorded fairly? Because as an auditor, we call something professional skepticism. You believe that you are having a doubting mind. We believe that anything that is being given us by either the accountant or the company must be checked accurately. I just said it. I said Thomas in the Bible. I said it to my friend. I said Thomas in the Bible can be tempted to be an auditor because he was doubting. As an auditor, you must have a doubting mind. You want to know if the document that is being prepared are accurate. And to deal with this knowledge, you need what? An accounting knowledge. We have internal control. You have internal control. Now, effective accounting practices include internal controls that will help prevent and detect errors and fraud. So I have read about internal control before. Do you know what internal control means? This class is meant to be an interactive class. So do we have anybody that has the knowledge of what is called internal control? Please, you can unmute. You can unmute and give your perspective on internal control.
Um, well, I think no, I don't think internal control basically entails checking the processes of how a firm operates from the moment of, let's say, for a transaction, from the inception till the very end. Ensure that they follow the due processes. I mean, that that is applicable to the law, that is not going against the law and against the processes or the regulations that surrounds how a company should operate. So internal control basically entails um, just maybe an officer looking or getting an overview to ensure everything is being done in order or how it's supposed to.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel. Is internal control basically
Sorry,
talking
sir.
about okay?
Mr. Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you stop presenting and pick it up back? Few of us cannot see your screen. Just stop it
Okay.
then,
Okay.
bring it up
Okay.
back. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's okay.
No.
Okay. So can you now see my screen now? Is my screen visible?
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Thank you very much. So I go on. I stopped where Mr. Samba stopped. He said internal control deals with the principles, the laid down foundation that has been kept or that is being watched by the company. As a company, for you to have operations successfully, you have to have internal control. That's why you see that most companies, you see job description, you see internal control officer or internal auditor. It's basically like the work of the internal auditor. It is basically the work of the internal auditor to check that the internal controls in a company are working effectively and efficiently. If the internal control of a company is not effective, I can tell you boldly that the company is joking with liquidation. So, as a company, the internal auditor must check that what the accounting practices, the rules and regulations laid down by the company, what are working effectively and efficiently. So, as an auditor, if you are going into a company and you cannot ask them what are the internal controls in place, it means that what you as that auditor, you are not good at your job. I love using scenarios, I love using case study. We are auditing Dangote PLC. Dangote, has come, they say they want to, employ us to audit their company for maybe 2024 financial year. Now, we set a meeting with Dangote PLC, and after the meeting, we discovered that we did not ask Dangote PLC what are the internal controls in place, meaning that how did they recognize revenue? Showing that, okay, you say you have payroll, you pay your staff. Where are the documents? What are the rules and regulation in place to show if you are deducting a worker's salary? So as an auditor, you must have this knowledge, and this knowledge deals with what? Accounting knowledge. He said effective accounting practices include internal control that help prevent and detect errors and fraud. So auditors should evaluate this control to determine their effectiveness and to also identify any weakness that could what impact the financial statement. As an auditor, you are dealing with the financial statement. I don't know, most people might ask that what is financial statement? In accounting, we have most people believe that in accounting there is financial statement, then they believe that there is 3 to 4 financial statements. But in the world, accepted globally, there are 5 financial statements. You can decide to write it down. I don't have it here. There are basically 5 financial statements. And then as you go on to the classes, I will show you these financial statements. So the first financial statement we have is the what? Income statement. That is your statement of profit or loss. The second financial statement we have is the what? Statement of financial position, where you can see your assets, you can see your liabilities, you can see your equity. The third financial statement that we have is the what? Statement of cash flow. We call it cash flow statement. I think Otunba also mentioned it when he was talking. So we have cash flow statement. The fourth financial statement we have is the what? Changes in equity. Statement of changes in equity. Meaning that, okay, maybe people subscribe more to the company has retained earnings from the past, it has profit or loss. That talks about it. Then the last one, you see, the last financial statement is the note to account. So you can see, I don't know if you have checked an audited financial statement before, or you've gone to check a company's financial statements. You will see that after they've listed those 4, the last one that is very important is the notes to account. The notes to account is trying to tell who, should I use the word a layman or the users of financial information, you that you don't have accounting knowledge, that this is what is going on in the company. Our profit, this is how we're able to compute our profit and get our profit. Our losses, this is how it came from. Our sorry, Ruth. Okay, our assets, our liabilities. So the notes to account helps to give us what details of the company's operations. Now we have compliance and standard. Are you going along with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hope I'm not too fast.
Yes, sir. No, right on.
Thank you very much. So we have compliance and standard. Accounting ensures that financial records are maintained according to established standards and regulations. This compliance is crucial for auditors to assess whether the financial statement present a true and fair view. Like I usually tell you, if you are being asked today, either by a layman, by a professional, what is the job of an auditor? Your job is to assess the financial statement that is being prepared by a company to show whether it gives a true and a fair view. I don't want to, when our next class, I will keep on telling you about the misconceptions people have about auditors. As an auditor, you are not being engaged to what? To check for fraud. If you are engaging me as an auditor, I am not, it is not my obligation to check if the company, there's fraud in that company. Though through my research, While auditing the company, I might come across, errors or fraud. But my main purpose is to ensure that the financial statement shows a true and fair view. And if it is compliance in compliance with the standard, is it international financial reporting standard you are using, international accounting standard, you know, that is my major view. Most people, I see that most people, I'm saying that it's not compulsory you're an accountant. Economist, sociology. In my office, I have sociologists, I have people from the science department that are working in audit firm. So let's not just limit our understanding to, if I want to become an auditor, I must study accounting in school. No, you can study any course that you like, but if you have the right resources, you have the right materials, I'm telling you, you can become an auditor, a tax analyst, and so on and so forth. Transparency and accountability. This is very, very important. As an auditor, an accountant has to be transparent with you. The company has to be transparent with you. The company has to be transparent with you. So, proper accounting practices ensure transparency and accountability in financial reporting. You can read, this transparency is vital. That keyword, it is vital for auditors to provide an independent opinion on the reliability of the financial statement. So proper accounting practices ensure that transparency and accountability in financial reporting is vital. As an auditor, you have to be very, very calm. You have to be very, very calm. Let me take you to this aspect. Most people fully believe that. Do you believe that once you've gained ACA, basically ICANN in Nigeria, once you are chartered, you become an ACA holder. Once you become an ACA holder, yes, you can go and become, an intern, an audit intern in a company. But for you to become a licensed auditor, you must have acquired what? CIA, Chartered Institute of Auditor certification. And once you are an ACA holder, you will be given this certificate after 2 years of serving. I repeat, after 2 years of serving in an audit firm, you attain the position of becoming a licensed what? Auditor. Do you know why they said 2 years? Because during your internship days, you'll be what? You'll be open to different possibilities. You'll be able to, I should say that as an auditor, sometimes you think beyond the ordinary, because if an accountant is perpetrating fraud or the company knows that their statements, they perform what they call window dressing. Window dressing is when, most of us in this world now, we believe that we can trade. I like to say that you can't trade without having technical skills or financial modeling skills or learning all these things. Because you know why? Most companies practice what we call window dressing. Window dressing in the sense that they will mirage their financial statements. They will make their financial statement look profitable, as if the company is earning money, so that you can invest in the company, whereas the company is suffering from going concern issue. Sorry for using accounting terms. Going concern issue means that what? The company will not be able to continue operation for the next 1 year. And if you are an auditor, having all this accounting knowledge and accounting background, you are you are now called by Dangote PLC to audit their company. You now audit Dangote companies, you audit Dangote company, and you tell them that, okay, yes, your company has going concern, everything is okay. You can continue for the foreseeable future. If that company should wind up or liquidate in 1 month, 2 months, 8 months, 9 months, I repeat, 11th month, 29 days, you will be held responsible and you will pay damages. Your license will be revoked. So as an auditor, you say we have accountants. Accountant should know the standard. An auditor should know the standard more than an accountant. You should be breathing the standard. IS1, IS2, IFR, you should breathe all standards because it is going to be very vital while working, in an organization. And not to overwhelm us that it's really only one person that is going to become an auditor. No, we have auditing. We have audit team. Audit team is where you have your senior managers, you have your audit associates before you now become the audit intern. Moving on. Does anybody have anything to say before I go to the base of accounting? Do you have any question? Okay, no question.
Um, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
So you talk about 2 years in service
Yes,
for you
yes,
to be now. Is it that there is a particular program we have to do to be an auditor? For example, now, for you to be in the accounting firm, you have to go to ICANN, and I think it's even also the same thing. By the time you are done with the account exam, you have to serve also before you can be a chartered accountant. So, is,
yes.
is there a program we can go through um to be an auditor too, like you said?
Mm, okay, thank you very much, Mr. Lamide. Before you can, you are right, sir. Before you can become a certified auditor, like you said, majorly it was not like that. It was, I think that was in 2023 or 2022. That I can't but about the aspect that once you become a chartered accountant, you must have a certificate to show that you've been working for 2 years before you become, before you become a chartered accountant. Before immediately you finish your exams, your professional exam, and you've passed everything, you can go for induction. But now I can have made the compulsory that you must have served for 2 years. I feel why you must become. Can you hear me, please?
Yes,
Yes, we
sir.
Yes,
can
sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
hear you clearly.
Yes, thank you very much. It's not as if there is a special program for you to become an auditor. No, there is not like a special program. Once you become a chartered accountant in Nigeria, and why it is compulsory for either an auditor and accountant to become, you know, an ACA holder or to do ICANN, is because they must be involved, they must be in a professional body. You cannot say that you're a professional, like a medical doctor, like I'm saying, like an engineer. You can't call yourself a professional and you are not in a professional body. Most of us don't know really the meaning of a professional. If you're a professional, it means that what you belong to a professional body, meaning that you can be held responsible for any act of negligence. So to become a certified auditor, like I said, and to become an accountant, you must pass through ICANN. It's compulsory. And I love ICANN. It does not mind the course you study. I have seen lawyers becoming auditor, becoming an accountant. You can see other people from other courses. So as an auditor, you must be chartered. Once you are chartered, now it is compulsory before you do induction, 2 years. Once you've passed the professional body, your professional exam, 2 years before you become a chartered accountant, like before you are given the certification. So in that 2 years, if you also want to become an auditor, they believe that you can also specialize by becoming an audit intern in a company. If you have ICANN as of today or CC, you can either decide to become an accountant, an auditor, a fraud analyst, a tax analyst, and so on and so forth. So having ICANN does not just streamline you to becoming an accountant alone. So once you have ICANN, it means that you're in a professional body. And in those 2 years before you collect your certification, you must have shown that you are what? Serving under an audit company. So when you want to collect certification, it's not possible. You collect both ICANN certificates and you collect what? CIA certificates. Do you get me now?
I think it's clear. I think it's clear.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Because
Sir, sorry, sir, let me get
okay,
that straight.
okay,
Um, so you're saying that if I get chartered
yes,
as an accountant,
yes,
so let's say I want to be an auditor, right?
yes,
So I must show evidence that I am maybe serving in a company I worked as an intern initially, and then
yes,
maybe I served in the company for 2 years. So that means when I'm going to get my certification, I get presented two certificates for showing that I
yes.
worked.
You can now apply for both CIA and your ICANN certification and get both of them.
Okay, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So I just want to bring to our knowledge, you
So I
cannot
have
become a professional. Are you with me? You can't become a professional without being what in a professional body. It's not possible. As the case of Nigeria, sometimes I look at it as a mirage. I was the time I was reading the news, and this was it last year or last 2 years. They said is it the yeah the audit, the chief auditor, or like is it the chief auditor, the chief accountant of Nigeria ran away with some amount of money, like he perpetrated fraud and he ran away with some amount of money. And they said, okay, Nigeria, the federation contacted ICANN to check for the man's details, and the man's details was not there, meaning that the man was never a registered member of ICANN. So for when you call yourself a professional, it means that what you are in a professional body, and this professional body have all your details. It means that anytime you go out of integrity and loyalty, this professional body can be contacted to get your details. It can be, you can be taken up. So it is compulsory when you call if you want to perpetrate fraud, which I don't accept, don't join the professional body, because know this, your details is going to be with the professional body immediately you finish that professional examination. And you're always going to be paying, we call it in ICANN, it's not donation, but you're going to be paying certain amount of money for being a member. Let me leave that. Our time is fast spent. Basis of accounting.
before you
So as
before
an
you
auditor,
proceed, sir. Before you
okay,
proceed,
okay, okay,
to be brief, under financial statements,
okay,
and you made mention of five types of financial statements. But I think I
yes,
missed. So I want to ask. So I have on my list here income or loss statements,
yes,
and I have cash flow statements, statement of
yeah,
change in equity, notes
yes.
to accounts. But remain one.
The one you
What's
missed
remaining?
is what statement of financial position, which
Okay,
was called
statement
balance sheet before. So most people know it's
statement
a balance sheet, but it's called statement of financial position now.
statement of financial. Thank you.
You're welcome. So basis of accounting, because I see that I have nothing less than, should I say, 16 to 18 minutes to round up. Assets. Before you become an auditor, these are the things you have to check in your financial statements, because these are the things that make up the financial statements. And you have to have in-depth knowledge of this, of these items. An asset is a resource with economic value owned and controlled by an individual. To skip all this English, an asset is something that is going to provide you future economic benefit. An asset is an item that can be used to make more revenue. Example, if Emmanuel and Co is in the production of selling cold pure water, my asset in that company, one, is my refrigerator. Because if I am saying I am selling cold water and it is there on my, in my, should I say, my company terms and condition and everything, I want to be selling cold water and I don't have a freezer to make that water cold, it means I have not met my obligation. So assets are the what? These are the items, they are the resources put in place by an organization to make what? More money. This leads to my question. I don't know whether I going to answer me after the class or now. Companies that are involved in securities and exchange, do they have assets? They have been saying, Otunba said finance what, finance what, finance what. Companies involved, like you were talking about, maybe Cordros Capital, you talked about, ARM. Most companies that deals with security, do they have assets? That's my question. So assets can be tangible and intangible. We have tangible asset. Tangible asset, just like what we used to do when we did this computer. Something that is tangible is something that you can see, touch, and feel. I'm taking it back to primary knowledge. So something that is tangible, it means that something that you can count, that is stock, you can count it. Because as an auditor, you go for stock taking at the end of every financial period. So asset is something that you can count this stuff. Okay, they have this machinery. Okay, maybe example, we that used to travel. Maybe your school is in Ekiti. This company now got these good motors. These motors. Their asset are those vehicles. So they'll be able to count it. Okay, these are vehicles and stuff. Intangible assets like patent, copyright. You understand? Though you cannot see it visibly or so, but they are assets that are used to bring more money for the what organization or for the individual. Liabilities. Liabilities are financial obligation. Like liabilities are debt. They are debt that when you are owing someone, to perform that work. So liabilities goes a long, like it's very deep. So liabilities represent claim on the entity's asset and are usually settled over time through money, goods, or services. Revenue. Revenue is total money generated by a company's business activities. Now, sorry, I will quickly pop a question. Let us look at this scenario. Should I say yes? I'm into providing financial services, auditing. I'm into auditing. When we provide audit services, we receive money. That's our income. But what about if my client now contacts me and tell him that, ah, though I know that I'll be coming from overseas. Can you get me somewhere to stay? And I collect that money maybe because we have a small hut or we have a small house where we keep visitors, and the person paid for that apartment. Would I classify that as a revenue? Do you get my question?
Please come again.
If we are into providing auditing services, like our company is an audit company, we provide audit services to our clients. That is, we're making revenue. And one of our clients maybe stays in France, and he says he wants to come to Nigeria. We're in Nigeria. He wants to come to Nigeria, get an apartment to stay for a while, and he pays for that apartment. And we have actually apartments where we receive guests. He pays for that apartment. Are we going to classify that as a revenue to us?
No, income.
No, we can't classify it as a revenue because
Okay.
we have not rendered the service for that money we received. For now, it is still a liability.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You're right. What about if we have rendered the service?
Now, if we have not rendered the service, then after deducting our expenses, that is the cure in the that is the cure we the cost, sorry, we incur in making the service worthwhile. Then after deducting it and everything, then we can now say the remaining profit, we can now call that our revenue.
Does anybody have anything to say? Because I still have to. Do you have any opinion? Anybody? Okay, let's go on.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay, go on. Go.
I want you to kind of explain the difference between revenue and profit.
Revenue
I,
and
and profit.
okay.
For deduct cost. Then after deduct cost, right?
I can't really get you. Sorry, because of but what I really heard was that he said I should, differentiate between revenue and profit. Yeah. So she's right. Most people think our profits are revenue. That's why I asked that question. A company has major revenue streams. Either we call them what operational income and what other income. Now, I use the audit company as an example. The audit company providing audit services will receive operational income. Are you getting me right now? When the audit, you contact me, you're asking for my services, I provide my services, I will give you operational, sorry, I give my the price of my terms and conditions, then you accept that and everything. Once you pay me and I perform that obligation, it is called operational income. Now, profit is gotten from operational income less all our expenses. Profit is what? Operational income less all expenses. Operational income, that is the income that is just coming from you carrying out your what? Your registered operation. So that is your profit. The operational income less all the expenses for that year, it's your profit. But your revenue deals with what? Your operational income, other income that you got from maybe, should I say, you sold machineries during the year, you people subscribe to your shares and all those stuff. So revenue is talking about income, operational income plus other income. While profit is saying operational income less expenses will give you only profit. Are you with me? So your revenue can come from different aspects. Miss Favor, she there? Okay. Is Miss Favor the person that asked the question? Have I answered the question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Going on to expenses, because I have limited time, like I said, expenses are the costs incurred by a business. The cost that you incur. If I want to buy, like I said, and there are different kind of expenses. We call them, like, we have cost of sale, we have the selling and distribution expenses, and we have administration expenses. When we go to the class, I will explain that better. Financial statement. I've talked about financial statements. I said financial statements are formal record that give an overview of a company's financial activities and condition. Your what your As a company, your lender, your creditor, the users of financial statement, even your employees, sorry, all of them are involved. They are particular part of financial statements. And I said I've listed out the major. If you're going for any interview, if they should ask you types of, they might never ask you. They just say what is financial statement. Is once you list out financial statement, make sure you tell them the types of financial statement. And if anybody should argue with you that is not there is no note to account, tell the person to visit, the right resources. Principles of debt click. Debt click is very important, you know, in accounting, in auditing, in all aspects. In all aspects of accounting, you must know debt click. I know when we did accounting in secondary school, we talked about, we did little accounting, debit or credit. But now, principle of debt click, because we are going to need this principle while working our trial balance, working for our financial statements. Debt click simply means debit all expenses, assets, and drawings. Debit all expenses, assets, and drawings. Drawings means that what? When you withdraw money for your personal use. So drawing in accounting means withdrawing money for your personal use. It is not for the use of the company. You are withdrawing money to pay your housemaid because you're the MD of the company. That money is called drawings. Why liabilities, income, and capital. Credit or liabilities, income, and capital. And I'm sure that while we start doing our, the practical aspects, talking about our balances, bank statement analysis, you will see how this debt click works, how all these expenses, asset and drawing, liabilities, income and capital, I mean, lastly, we have accounting circle. Accounting circle. As an auditor, you have to understand the accounting circle.
Sorry, sir. Sorry for